What is the most ridiculous thing you've seen someone do in an attempt to get laid? You know, in college on day one of a new semester they do introductions where they go through the class and ask who you are and why you're taking the course. Hi. My name is Darnell and I'm taking Intro to Women's Studies because it's a fine place to meet some bitches. He did it with a straight face and he wasn't even joking. Or maybe he thought he was joking. The silence was deafening. He disappeared before the midterm. Someone once came up to me and after we talked for a few minutes he asked me if I knew the capital of a couple of states. I did until I got to South Carolina. Also we were on Bourbon Street and it was like 1 a.m. After I told him I didn't know, he said that I was just really stupid. I turned around and quit talking to him. 2 minutes later he tapped me on the shoulder and asked if I wanted to go back to his hotel. I do not understand negging. Pay money. I tried skiing with a girl I was interested in back in high school. She was a really good skier and I had never tried before. Being a 16-year-old boy, I was way too confident and decided to hit her favorite hill to impress her. I couldn't manage to pizza and was flying down the hill at worrying speeds with no way to stop. There was a kid right in my way. So I was left with a choice. I decided to take a fall and ended up doing a full flip before landing on my back. She did not find it impressive. Fall directly on their face in front of the person hoping to trigger a maternal instinct. Didn't work. A group of friends and I went to visit another friend in another town to hang out. When we were figuring out the sleep arrangements, one guy claimed that he has back problems and that he needs to sleep in a bed. Our friend was super nice and told him he could sleep in her bed if it was that bad. Then she got her sleeping bag out and laid it on the floor. He got super flustered and confused. Then asked her why she wasn't going to sleep in her bed with him. We all realized why he wanted the bed so badly and why he suddenly had back problems. We kicked him to the couch. Only reason he was never kicked out of the group is because he was best friends with half the guys. Bonus story, same guy would attempt to flirt with all the women in the group. Even the ones that were dating people. He took a real liking to my GF at the time, now my wife, as he watched a lot of anime and got the yellow fever. He would constantly use Japanese phrases he picked up from the shows when he talked to her. Here's the fun part. My wife is of Asian descent. But not Japanese. I was at a party the first week of college and one of the freshman guys was standing in the backyard puking his guts out. He stopped for a minute. Looked up and with a sly smile said, "What's up, ladies?" Still makes me laugh. A buddy in college was dating this girl for a few weeks. He announces to us that she agreed to have sex with him but she wanted a nice date night first. Anyway, a few days before the scheduled date, she has to cancel because her grandmother died and she has to go to the funeral. He immediately went over to her place to convince/beg her to skip the funeral. My brother purchased a condo in another city away from his wife so he could get with this lady that he'd been dating. Wear a scuba dive suit to a bar. At community college, this guy from one of my classes came up to me in the lunchroom and asked me to make a paper airplane. Apparently he didn't know how to make one. Kinda weird, but who am I to judge? So I start making him one and he tells me he's gonna put his phone number on it and throw it at some cute girl eating her lunch. I thought this was odd because he was always walking with this girl I thought was his GF. Anyways, after I give it to him he goes and throws it at this girl. Except he misses and it lands on the floor next to her. So he walks up and repeats this until he hits her. It was incredibly awkward, but I give him props for having no fear or embarrassment about this. Old friend got a tattoo of this girl's name to impress her. If he'd bothered to have a real conversation with her, he'd have learned that she was a lesbian and hated the concept of couples tattoos. I got married at 17 years old. I was told there would be sex anytime I wanted. I was lied to. I used to deal blackjack a few years back. The customers were hit or miss on being total scumbags. But the biggest creeps were the guys that did the following. Once every few months or so, we'd have guys that would be playing the table max, $25/hand and playing two hands. They'd be getting their ass kicked. Down a couple thousand or so. And they'd be pissed. Almost seething with rage. And then, almost without fail, a pretty girl would come to the table and ask kindly if she could play. The guy's demeanor always changed. Now, they were the nicest guys at the table. And would do an uber creepy thing where they'd make bets for the pretty girl. The girls were never serious players. They'd come with $20. Just to have some fun. But the asshole guys would throw 10, 20, $25 down on the girl's betting spot. And when the girls would be like, what are you doing? The guy would play it off like it's just money. It's not that big of a deal. So they'd sit and make bets for this girl for multiple shoes in a row. Chatting up the pretty girl. Probably thinking it was gonna get them laid. But they never got laid. Never. Fly to Belgium. For a girl he'd only known through an MMO. My dad just cashed in his $14,000 retirement package so he can go marry his girlfriend in Ghana that he met online 6 months ago on a pro-Trump Facebook group. My family is sure he's about to get scammed, but nobody has been able to stop him or convince him otherwise. My mate shat his pants at a house party because he heard the girl he was desperate to plow was into shit play. Not so surprisingly, the rumor wasn't true and the girl really wasn't into it. She screamed, threw her drink at him and ran away. The smell was so bad a few people threw up. My mate went a bit mental and threw shit at people who were laughing at him. The owner of the house threw pretty much everyone out and my mate didn't stop drinking for about 2 weeks. As he didn't want to deal with the embarrassment. It's never mentioned anymore and he's with a lovely bird now. Edit, to clarify, he was very drunk when he did this. And yes, he threw literal shit. Convert to Mormonism. Most of his friends don't speak to him anymore. Including myself. I have an acquaintance from high school. Used to be great friends. But drifted apart. He has always been kinda on the edge of being neckbeardy. But went over the edge in recent years. Lots of social media posts about him being a real gentleman. White knighting. Compliments any photo of a woman. Etc. You get the picture. He sank to a new level recently when he tried to squeeze himself into a married woman's life. He poses as a friend and does anything she says to try and make her see him as more than a friend. She uses this to her complete advantage by using him to sell her MLM products. He posts on social media about her products being revolutionary and such. I assume she has him buy her weight loss products as well. I sent him a message when I saw the first MLM post informing him not to get involved in MLMs as they are pretty unethical. I'm pretty sure he blocked me. Travel 50 miles to meet a Reddit stranger. We're talking about marriage now, smiley face. Was at a party at a friend's house. And starting talking to a pretty attractive girl. Wasn't flirting with her super hard, but we were both sociology majors so we actually had something to discuss. This guy, we'll call him Dan, comes over and deadass just starts interrupting us every sentence. Not even contributing to the convo. Just interrupting anything we said. I was just annoyed and said fuck it. Went to go talk to some other people. As the night goes on and we get drunker, Dan then starts following this girl around the party like a lost puppy. Not even in a subtle way, just walking 2 steps behind her. At this point she's told him multiple times to leave her alone. And bear in mind we're all in our 20s. This guy just keeps creepily following her around until she eventually left. It was just bizarre. Once saw a guy dive into the shallow end of a pool to impress a girl. Ended up with staples in his head and did not get laid. Truffle shuffle. And sweet Jesus, it worked. There was a time I used to go on online chat rooms, just a casual time killing thing I did during work hours. I used to join public conversations where someone tried to offend some other users and sort of defend a guy or attack the offender a little. One day someone called somebody else gay. And after I said something about homophobia and the possible reasons behind the attacker's roast, few guys PM'd me saying something like, "Hi, I'm gay too. Can we grab a coffee sometime?" I needed to explain I wasn't gay and that I'm doing it as I don't like bullying. One of the guys didn't care much and actually changed the tone and said, "Can I pay you to blow you?" And offered me X for it. I have rejected his offer. So he doubled it. Then doubled again. I turned him down. Flirt with me. My brother had a roommate that considered himself as a player as well as being a pathological liar. He was very good looking and charming. I'll give him that. but he was a straight-up dog. He told some girl he had picked up somewhere and brought over that his mother had just died of cancer and did his best to portray the role of a grieving son. Even managed to let out some Oscar-worthy tears. Well, playing the sympathy card certainly worked out in his favor and she ended up sleeping with him. After she left the next day, he laughed about it, calling her a dumb bitch. Now, about his mother? She was very much alive and well. Thanks for watching.